My name is Linda Fritchie-Kastner, and I'm a part owner-operator of a small general aviation airport in Hunterdon County, New Jersey. I'm also lucky enough to be the program director for the Garrett A. Morgan Technology and Transportation Education Program Grant. What I discovered was that on my own, as an airport owner-operator and a person with a master's degree in exercise physiology and someone who coached women in risky activities like gymnastics and diving, that I had a real interest in seeing how I could get women to see the values in new learning and in taking risks in their entire lives, in their entire careers. So I had to find help. I had to find somebody who knew how to do research. I did find Sue Stafford in Boston, and Sue is a private pilot, instrument rated, and her husband also flies, and they own an airplane. Sue was like finding a needle in a haystack, finding a woman with her background who had coached women in debate teams and how to get the best out of themselves, but was also flying. It took me almost a year to find her, and that was done through the help of Rich Stoll. Rich said to me, Linda, what you're doing in New Jersey, trying to find how to empower women and how to get their self-esteem to be raised by looking at aviation, is something a woman I met in Boston, he was up there giving them some emergency maneuver training, is also interested in. So he put the two of us together. Sue and I then designed an experiential activity. We expanded upon the little workshops that I was doing called Take Flight, Women Take Flight workshops, and we developed several of them. One for leaders, one for men and women, one that looked at an educational component, one that looked at housewives and women going through changes in their lives and how to get the most out of themselves. We were almost at the brink of not doing this any longer. I'd done it for 10 years, Sue'd been with me for 3 or 4. It just didn't seem like we could take it anywhere. No one saw any value in it except the people who took the workshops. So that's when I had the great fortune to run into Maxine Shear, who had read an article that I had written in the WAI magazine, Women in Aviation magazine, about empowerment and about learning to fly and why women are different than men in how they look at aviation. While there might be women who are exactly like men, and WAI does focus on those women who see no barriers, who see everything through the same eyes of wonder that men see aviation and go on to be airline pilots, the majority of women in the world do not. There are 600,000 licensed pilots, there's only 6% of them that are women. We are losing a huge mass of people who might be interested in science, technology, engineering, and math, and might also be interested in seeing it through the lens of aviation and maybe even decide to become pilots.
What's great about this is they're going to be talking amongst other high schools and amongst other colleges and Rutgers University, and we're going to be coming up with plans and methods to get students interested in STEM careers far beyond what we had originally intended. So I think these workshops are essential for the future in getting teachers to come together, and that's what I really think is important, is to develop a support system for teachers and also to get them excited. We forget about the piece that's so important, is to get people excited about learning, get people excited about teaching, and that excitement will then spread to the students. And it does spread to the students.
Again, I go back to Maxine Shear, and Maxine says to me, Linda, you're talking to the wrong audience. Don't go to corporations right away about leadership. Don't go to aviation. Go to people who truly care about new learning. She said, you need to talk to engineers who are involved in aviation. People who are involved with NASA projects, people who are involved in high school curriculums around science, technology, engineering, and math. And she told me about a conference that was happening in Washington, D.C., and said, please, please accept their invitation, come to the conference. We went to it. It was at this engineering conference in Washington, D.C., with the guidance of Maxine, that Sue and I were introduced to people who truly understood my aviation camps, the tours we did here, our outreach to schools, and our workshops. So we decided to give it another try. I wrote a grant by going to different schools, going to these community groups, and we won the GAMTEP grant for 1 year. What we're here today to do is to explain to you that the success of that grant has allowed us to form the Aviation Education Collaborative. That collaborative is our way to sustain the 20 programs that we did in this kind of community effort. A feature of this program, this collaborative, is that we have schools from all levels, preschools through college. We have tours, all levels, preschool through college and business internships. We have courses at schools, from elementary schools with those teachers interested, the STEM teachers interested, right through college professors and their interest in it. We've created a new relationship with Lafayette College on the ground challenges. So what we're really looking at is the fact that our collaborative, bringing the full community together around a little airport's desire to see more women be empowered, is how that happened. And it is evolving through the interest and enthusiasm of people like Jim Gessner, like Rutgers University, like the Polytech Institute, like Johnson & Johnson. So we've created two things. We've created a model around the Garrett Morgan Grant that we can take out and show to other communities, other small airports, other people at high schools, other people who simply come in at any point on that collaborative wheel. You don't have to be an airport owner to come in just because that's how it started. You could be somebody from a university that's working hard on women's initiatives. You could be a Girl Scout troop. We're now running actual Girl Scout tours here as part of a badge program. So we would be using your resources in any part of the country to duplicate this collaborative, and we would be willing to help you with it. We are focusing today's videotape on the most unique portion of our collaborative, and that is the Leader Take Flight workshop and the Women Take Flight workshop. What will follow me is going to be examples of how those two workshops were rolled out. The first one is for female teachers of STEM through elementary school through college. 12 at a time is what we can do in a 2-day workshop. The second one is for high school and college age females who are interested in engineering, science, technology, but are not sure they're going to stick with it, or they're not sure if they're in high school if they're going to pursue it in college. While the workshops have been tweaked for male and female populations, we're empowered by the grant, directed by the grant, to do women and minorities. So we have focused on them. However, we could end up doing workshops that would involve men and women, both teachers and students. I can only tell you how deeply enthusiastic and rewarding it is, how excited I am about having the opportunity to bring together this unique group of people. I think you will find our entire staff, everybody who's come together from this little idea that was thrown out at them, and have been more than willing to look at ways to bring it to students, to make some of the problems in the world that involve being more creative and having more new learning, not shying away from it, taking a chance. When you see how these people finish these workshops, you will understand why I'm so enthusiastic about it. This has been a long road, and I am so happy to be able to share it with you and hope that you'll join us in making a difference.